All right, it's quarterfinal time at Wimbledon 2023, and the magic is in the air. We had another vintage Wimbledon upset with Christopher Eubanks taking out Stefanos Tsitsipas in his dream Cinderella couple of months that's continuing. So Christopher Eubanks into the quarterfinals. We've got an amazing matchup, Alcaraz versus Rune. We've got Djokovic versus Rublev, and we've got Sinner taking on Safiullin. So we're going to break down the men's quarterfinals in this episode of The Slice. Take a look at the odds. Take a look at why I'm impressed with Alcaraz, the test that he's passing. Takes out Berrettini, Medvedev as well, how good he's looking. Djokovic, how he's playing with fire against Hurkacz. We're going to break it all down right now on The Slice because that's what we do. All right. Thanks for being here, people. Appreciate you smashing the subscribe button, helping us get to 20,000 subscribers before the year end. Need your help. So if you love tennis, hit the button, and I appreciate you being here. We had a big day of tennis today. We had a continuation of Djokovic versus Hurkacz, with Djokovic dropping a set and then getting on top, finally getting a break. We had Medvedev coming through. We had Eubanks beating Tsitsipas in a match that was so close. You look at the stats, you're like, how did Tsitsipas lose this? Anyways, that's Wimbledon. Like I said, we'll get more into it. But before we do, I've got some picks for the quarterfinals presented by CoolBet, our sponsor, our official sportsbook of the Slice's official sportsbook. We're going to go down the list here from top to bottom. We're doing the over-under because I was looking at the money line. If you look at it here, the odds for the favorites who are Sinner, Djokovic, obviously, Alcaraz over Rune, and Medvedev over Eubanks, the odds for the money line are not that good. But we're going to take a look now at the over-under. So I'm taking Alcaraz on the over 37.5 games and taking the over because I think that match is going to be more of a battle than people think. I think a lot of people think it's going to be a battle. We got the two best young players on tour, bar none, battling each other. I'm taking the over 37.5. I'm taking the over 38.5 on Medvedev Eubanks because what I saw from Christopher Eubanks means business. He's got nothing to lose. He's playing with house money. And Medvedev's going to feel the pressure, I think, with the way that Eubanks can hit the ball and with the way that he's going to come forward and the way that he's playing so free and loose. I'm taking the over 38.5 there. This is all on a parlay, by the way. I'm taking the under 35.5 for Sinner, taking out Safiullin pretty quick. I think Sinner's just playing sneaky, really good. And I'm taking the over 32.5 on Djokovic versus Rublev because I think it'll be closer than the bookies think. So if you want to get on the action and play the same parlay I am, which is like, I think 10.1 to 1 payback, join CoolBet, use the link below. Also, if you want to use your body in the best way that it should be, try AG1. It's the nutritional drink that I drink almost every day. I'm pretty good at keeping up with it. Not super good. My wife is much better, but we love it. It tastes good, and it's a great way to get your foundational nutrition in every day. And shout out to Go Sport. Secure the bag, the official bag of the Slice. So, Christopher Eubanks. I mean, what a player. This guy comes out, takes out Tsitsipas. Tsitsipas is the guy, if you're going to upset someone at the major now, it's Tsitsipas. But really, you watch that match. I just saw the highlights. This guy is so dangerous. He makes Tsitsipas look short. He's got plays with a super white racket. It's Technifier, I'm pretty sure. Same one Medvedev uses, I think. And he just whips that thing. I mean, it's the ball. It looks like he's playing with like a squash racket or something. He just swings that racket, cracks it, uses the one-handed backhand. One of the set points that he beat Tsitsipas today with, it was like the backhand was so pure, so free down the line, just an absolute thing of beauty. And that's what Wimbledon you see. Like you see these crazy upsets like we saw Lucas Rosol taking out Nadal. We saw Stakovsky taking out Federer, almost taking out Federer. We saw other people take out Federer. I forget. We saw Sam Querrey taking out Djokovic. All these players have, just come through on the grass, taking advantage of the extra speed. And like Christopher Eubanks, he's like 20. He's like my age. He's been on the pro tour for like 8 years and really has never put it together until this last month. I've heard some people like Mike Cation who's a commentator on the Challenger Tour primarily. He said, for the last 9 months, kind of since like November last year, he started to see something different with Eubanks. But what a story. I mean, this guy's into the quarterfinals. He's literally, changed his life. He's going to be ranked inside the top 50 now, I believe. And yeah, people are talking. He's a great commentator. He's been on Tennis Channel before, and people are saying now that he's got the pedigree of being at Wimbledon quarterfinals, he's basically secured his commentary future for good, which is probably a job that I won't get now because he's there, but he deserves it. What a player! What a guy! What a character! So we'll see. Can he challenge Medvedev? I think he really can because he's the type of player who can hurt anyone for sure. And Medvedev can get frustrated, and I think Eubanks is the type of guy who can frustrate him. So we'll see. Alcaraz, Carlitos Alcaraz, had another test in Berrettini. Berrettini, who's playing well, who played great. It's as big of a serve as Carlos is going to face, and the stats from this match are just crazy. He really passed the test for me on his serve. Berrettini's obviously not the greatest returner, but there's worse returners out there. He's got a really good slice return. And Alcaraz's serve was great. His serve numbers were great, but his return numbers were really big things where you're like, okay, on grass, this kid has got the serve return dialed in. I mean, as he won more first serve points and second serve points percentage-wise than Berrettini did, which is just insane on grass. So he just really figured out the return, really figured out how to play. And once Alcaraz was able to get past 3 or 4 shots in a rally and into like the meat of the rally, he was getting up in front of the baseline and really imposing himself. He hit one forehand 104 miles an hour. And it was literally, I watched it live and I was like, what did I just watch? That was the most perfectly timed all over it. You watch the replay, he was in the air before he hits the ball, which is not normal for anyone. In the air before he hits the ball, he like jumped in it. He was ending the point. He can crunch the forehand cross court. That's like his bread and butter all day long. Just absolutely crazy. Monster. So Alcaraz is looking absolutely ominous on the top. We will see. We'll take a look here at the bracket there. But yeah, those are my big notes. We got Djokovic. Djokovic fans, what do you think? Playing with a little bit of fire against Hurkacz. He's down 6-3 in the first set tiebreaker. Does the classic Djokovic, casts his spell, makes 2 points on his serve. Hurkacz has a point on his serve to end it. Great return in from Djokovic and tightens up from Hurkacz, younger player tightening up, can't play the big point well. And Djokovic gets out of that, wins another tiebreaker. Then they stop, do the darkness, come back, and Hurkacz serves great and plays a good return game at 5-6 or at 6-5 and breaks. Getting interesting, but you're still 2-1. Djokovic, is Hurkacz going to beat Djokovic 3 sets in a row in one day? No, he probably is not. He had his chances. First set should have won that one, and you never know. But it was a very close match. The way that guy was serving was absolutely nuts. Djokovic said it after the match. He said, honestly, doesn't remember a time he's felt so helpless on the return. The accuracy and the power of Hurkacz's serve, absolutely nuts. But Hurkacz's serve, however good that is, like I tweeted out today, it's kind of equally bad on the return. Just not enough balls just even in play, where he's getting a racket on it and he's just not putting it in play. Not just getting a racket on it, like he's having a good chance, good looking swing at it and just missing too much of that. So Djokovic playing well. Really, we know what Djokovic is going to bring. What are other players going to bring? That's the question. So he's playing Rublev next. That's a big challenge. Rublev had that shot against Bublik. We all saw that. But how much can Rublev hurt or challenge Djokovic? It's going to come down a lot to Rublev's serve. Is he going to serve well? Is he going to serve a high first serve percentage and just go for it? And then, we'll see. Huge advantage Djokovic, though, for sure. But you never know. He is beefing up all of his game, and it's kind of, he's slowly beefing it up, slowly beefing up the serve, Rublev. So we will see. And then we got Sinner versus Safiullin. Safiullin takes out our guy Denis Shapovalov, who was injured, but Safiullin's super dangerous, big hitting player. Sinner, though, I expect. I mean, it is tough because you play the quarterfinals and you're playing somewhere where you should obviously win against, like Safiullin. It just puts more pressure on a player like Sinner. I feel like does that not right? So we'll see how Sinner handles it, but he's been here a lot. If he's physically fine, I think he should be fine. I did take the under 35.5 on Cool Bet. So we'll see, but I expect Sinner to come through that. So let's take a look at the results, though. Without further ado, I got to put it up here on the screen, but some of the stats from today were absolutely nuts. So let's first go to Hurkacz, Djokovic, aces 18, or sorry, look at the 33 aces for Hubert Hurkacz. Total winners, 64 winners for Hurkacz, 44 winners for Djokovic, only 16 on forced errors. I mean, you can't. Djokovic played great, and it was still super close for 4 sets. Yeah, super close scoreline, but it's kind of classic grass. Like there wasn't really that many times where you felt like Hurkacz was going to break Djokovic. I mean, he broke him once out of 2 times. Djokovic broke Hurkacz once out of 8 times. So, Djokovic was kind of always ahead, but Hurkacz did play well. Interesting. Djokovic won. Yeah, like I said, Hurkacz's return is really not up to snuff. 89% of the points won on Djokovic's first serve. Good match from Djokovic for sure. This is the head scratcher. Look at this one. It's not a head scratcher. I mean, I didn't watch the match, I will say, but pretty much all of the categories favoring Tsitsipas. Higher win percentage on first serve and second serve, and net and at the net. Receiving points won in general better, less unforced errors, way less unforced errors, like a crazy amount less winners as well, but really his ratio was much better. Total points won. He won, 12 more points total. Still lost the match. So that's a tight one. That's a tough one for Tsitsipas. Again, not making the quarterfinals of a major against a player that he should definitely beat. That's a really tough one for Tsitsipas. Holger Rune, we haven't talked about him yet, comes through Grigor Dimitrov. So he's figuring out the grass as well. I noticed he's playing with more shape on his ball, it seems almost. He plays with a lot of shape on the clay, but it looks like almost like he's trying to play with more here. He's like really trying to get the ball to kick up. Yeah, great serving. Wants 82% of his points on his first serve, so his serve is just huge and good against Dimitrov. Receiving points did better on the reception. Hit less winners. Dimitrov, great ball striking. Less unforced errors though from Rune. It looks like a very mature match. So, yeah, big time. So that brings us to the draw. Let's go to the gentlemen's singles draw. Here's the quarterfinals. We got Alcaraz, Rune, Medvedev, Eubanks, Sinner, Safiullin, Rublev, Djokovic. What match are you guys most excited for? I think a lot of players are going to be excited for this Alcaraz Rune match. I mean, it makes sense to me. They've only played twice. I know Rune got Alcaraz at the Paris Masters last year. That was big. On grass, just based on what I've seen, the eyeballs between these two guys. I mean, I haven't seen that much of Rune, to be fair, on the grass, but from what I've seen with the return of Alcaraz and how easily he's getting from return to be on top of the point, I'm giving him the advantage. I do think he's just, still the better player. But we'll see. It'll be super interesting to see these two young guys, both, barely 20, in the quarterfinals. Winner's going to reach the semifinal, right? Obviously, Alcaraz has been there. He's won a major. So it just feels still like he's so young that it's still like, wow, is he going to get there? Big opportunity for Rune, though, to play, I would say, the upset. So, yeah, I'm leading, like I said, Alcaraz in that one. We got Medvedev, Eubanks versus Daniil Medvedev. Both the amount of length on the court is just going to be nuts. Yeah, I think Medvedev, he's the better player. He should win. It'll be interesting to see how he handles Eubanks' serve and how he handles Eubanks coming forward, because that is a strategy that Djokovic has used in the past to upset, kind of get Medvedev off his rhythm. So we'll see how they play that match. That'll be a super interesting one to watch. Tomorrow we've got Djokovic versus Andre Rublev, which I've kind of already broken down. And I just think, yeah, Djokovic is just too dynamic. I just don't see Rublev keeping the pressure on Djokovic like Hurkacz was able to with his serve. And even then with the serve, he didn't have the return or kind of the rest of the game to back it up. So it's going to be a tough one for Rublev. I don't expect him to win. I expect it to be probably 3 sets. And then we got Sinner versus Safulin as well, where I'm taking Sinner. Winner, Sinner. That's Andy Murray. Chicken Dinner, both pasty white guys. We can confuse them from our little picture source there. But anyways, that's a look at the men's quarterfinals. Great matchups. If all goes as to predicted, we will have Alcaraz versus Medvedev, Sinner versus Djokovic, which is pretty much as good as you can get as far as predictions go, because I thought that was pretty high up there as far as who I think were the top contenders this year. I don't have my sheet in front of me of who I picked, but that's pretty close to it. So anyways, that's a quarterfinal breakdown of the men. We will see you next time on The Slice. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out the links below. And thanks for subscribing to the show to not miss any future episodes. We will see you guys next time.